guys, it's Megan from Vigilante Vibes, and I am here today to give my review on Wonder Man, the series. So I binged the entire thing. It is now 1:20 in the morning, and I wanted to give my thoughts while they were fresh. So if you are listening to this, I'm probably asleep finally, so I hope you enjoy it. So Marvel Studios' Wonder Man, it released all 8 episodes at once. I think there was quite a bit of hype amongst the fandom. I mean, not as much as I would have liked, but I saw people excited. And I saw people who were live threading it or, commenting as they go on social media who really enjoyed it as well, which makes me very happy because I loved it. I probably would say this is the best show about acting of all the acting shows. It's not your normal Marvel thing. That is one thing I saw people complain about, is that they're saying it's not for a casual Marvel watcher because it's not superhero pushed. It's not built on action scenes and all that. It's built around someone's life. And Simon Williams in the comics was an actor, and in this he's an actor. So in the comics he actually left the team. I want to say it was the Avengers at that point. He told Beast that he wants to go seek employment elsewhere and that he's been acting like a superhero the whole time anyways, so might as well be an actor. Of course it was a struggle to get into it, but so was Simon Williams in the show. Simon Williams was, I should just call him Simon. No reason for his full name. But Simon in the show had been going to auditions for 10 years. He had been trying to get callbacks, doing whatever he can to be an actor, and he just was not successful. And I think the first episode shows why. I will not lie to you. The first episode, he was insufferable as an actor because he was just a side character, a tiny side character, and he was trying to change the scene. He was trying to change everything about it, and the director and all that were just so done with it, which was fair. So he got fired. I believe that was American Horror Story movie, I guess. Then he runs into Trevor Slattery, who was working for the DODC and actually trying to catch Simon in the act of using his powers and proving that he is actually a very dangerous being. At this point, we do not know he has powers. I mean, we know, but the audience does not know because we're not shown it. And it builds up to his powers a lot throughout the show, and I think they did an incredible job with that. So Trevor went with Simon to his mother's birthday because Trevor's trying to get close to him. Trevor's trying to get all the information on, find proof, so he doesn't end up going back to jail, because remember, he was broken out of jail, so he never finished his sentence. So his whole thing was either he goes to jail or he brings in Simon with proof. So Trevor makes himself very open to him and becomes really good friends. They go to his mom's birthday, not Trevor's, Simon's mom's birthday, who I loved. The mom, I would die for her. So he goes into that birthday party. He gets to know everyone. He's asking, do you have any stories about Simon as a child? And he becomes very aware that Simon is a very lonely person. He's never had a single friend. He has never put himself out there. He's never made a friendship. He's never joined any teams, nothing like that. He's always been alone. And it makes sense because at 13, there was a fire at his house. His family was not there. The fire supposedly happened because he didn't know how to work the stove because he was a 13-year-old kid. But I think it's not really confirmed in the show. But in the comics, Wonder Man, Simon Williams, is a mutant. So at 13, what happens at 13? All of my mutant fans, that's usually when the X gene activates and they get their powers. So he never told anyone. His mother knew, his brother knew, they never told anyone either. And he kept to himself because he didn't want to put anyone at risk, but he also didn't want anyone to know. Because in this world, thanks to our boy Doorman, they are not allowed to hire an actor who is a mutant or who has powers, who is a superpowered being. So they did bring Doorman into this really, really heavily. Doorman from the Great Lakes Avengers. If you're interested in Doorman, just look at my channel. I have a whole thing about him. But also, they changed his backstory entirely. He's not a mutant. He actually accidentally got his powers when he was taking out the trash at his job, and there was a Roxxon dumpster that was leaking stuff, and it kind of formed this weird black hole, and he fell into it. And then from that day forward, people could go inside him and go out the other, so he was a door. It was fine. I should have known they were never going to give us another Great Lakes Avengers reference of any kind. I should have known. I got myself too excited. But also the Roxxon thing is pretty cool, that Roxxon is a continuing reference in the MCU. I love when they do that. So, yeah. He never met Doorman. Doorman was the reason the law was made. He was the reason actors could not be superpowered. But also, he tells Trevor this, and Trevor has no idea. But Trevor's an actor himself. So I was like, why does Trevor not know? Wouldn't he? I think he would. I think he would. So yeah. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah. Simon's powers. He has powers, and he finally uses them. We see a lot of instances where he uses them, but we also see he cannot control them at all. And this is why the DODC want to bring him in. And that is Trevor's job. But Trevor, they become best friends. They go on a callback together for the movie Wonder Man. There's a huge backstory with it with Simon. Simon's father, who has passed away, took him to the Wonder Man movie, and they both watched it together, fell in love with the movie. Simon says he was born for this role. Well, he does, after a while, does get the role. And so does Trevor Slattery. So at this point, there's so much that happened in the show. Tiny little things. First of all, the brother, Eric. If you don't know, Simon Williams, Wonder Man's brother in the comics, is the Grim Reaper. And when you first meet Eric, you can believe it, because he is a dick. He never stops messing with Simon. He never stops putting him down. He never stops making him feel like trash. And that's when I was like, that's my Grim Reaper right there. That's him. That's him. So yeah, there's that. There's also a lot of references to the real world, ours, not the MCU, like Twilight movies and Sons of Anarchy, the show, is now canon. Josh Gad was in in one of the episodes of Doorman. He was singing the Frozen soundtrack, which actually went really hard, and I feel like no one's talking about it. But it was good. And also, whatever happened to Josh Gad? Because in the show, he makes Doorman into an actor, and they're making a sequel of their first movie together, and he is throwing all the piles of money in a duffel bag through Doorman, and so they can get out because they're robbing somewhere. It didn't give too much detail. And then at one point, Doorman cannot take any more, and Josh Gad does not know that, and he goes inside Doorman himself, expecting to come out the other side. He does not come out the other side. Instead, Doorman vomits everywhere. It's like pure water. And Josh Gad is nowhere to be found. Also, he's Josh Gad in this universe. He's not like a character. He's Josh Gad. So there's this whole thing like, where's Josh Gad? He's missing. And we still don't know where he is. So that's okay. So leading up to him finally getting the shot to be Wonder Man and Trevor Slattery to play, who is called Barnaby in the movie as well, Simon and Trevor are invited to this little conference of actors so they can pick who will be the ones to play it. And you see Simon act. I was cracking up because he was so annoyed at the other actors, and I get it, I would be too, but he just hated them. I think it goes back to Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's amazing performance throughout the entire show, but he just nailed just the bitter, angry guy who hates the other actors who aren't as talented, who have not had it as hard, who hasn't had to work as hard, just getting roles like crazy. And it was so perfect. Both Yahya and Ben Kingsley were just, I would follow Ben Kingsley into battle. It was just they both, I don't care to see them in anything else. This is it for me. I'm good. We do have confirmation that Wonder Man will show up in another MCU project, and you should note that the show was created by Destin Daniel Cretton, or Cretin. I don't know. If you're not new to my show, you know that sounding out names and pronunciation is my Achilles heel. So if I mispronounce anyone's name, just know it's not on purpose. It's because I'm dumb. So yeah, it should be noted that that is the same person who did direct Spider-Man Brand New Day. So maybe we're getting a Wonder Man reference or a cameo there. I could see it, but I also can't see it. Never mind. Anyways, back to where I was. They get the role. Trevor Slattery and Simon Williams get the role. They are in heaven. Everything is happy. We see Simon doing some happy dances in his new trailer. He is getting food brought to him. He is just over the moon. They're getting their clothes fitted. Everything is going well until the New York Times wants to write an article about both of them. And that's not a big problem, except the woman that does it has a way with her words where she makes the subject of her interviews look horrible. Character assassination. And being Simon Williams and having mutant abilities, most likely, and those are a secret, that can be terrifying because she talked to everyone in his life. His mean-ass brother, his mother, his ex-girlfriend. So Simon was losing his mind. Trevor was not. Trevor was keeping Simon in line. So what they didn't know was that the person doing the interview would go for Trevor. She had so many questions about his time as the Mandarin, and that made him lose it, to the point that it was revealed that he made a deal when he was arrested, when he came back to the States. And it was then revealed that his deal was to get information on Simon. So Simon, who is extraordinarily angry, he is going to kill someone if he doesn't get out of there, heads out of the restaurant. I think it was a restaurant. Heads out of the restaurant, goes down the street, goes into a warehouse that's on the set of Wonder Man, and explodes it. It is a huge explosion, destroys it. It knocks out the power everywhere. And there is a huge manhunt for whoever did it, and the DODC think that it was him. So they're sending people to look for him. And then Trevor calls him the next day and says, I figured it out. I fixed everything. And Simon's like, what do you mean, Trev? And Trevor got back into his Mandarin persona and admitted to exploding the building. So now Trevor is going to jail. Simon is still on the movie, and everyone's really, really sad. But Simon does the movie. It is wildly successful. People love him. People want to be him. People want to be with him. Everyone is super excited. Even that mean-ass brother was proud of him, and that should tell you something. But yeah, that happened, and the excitement died down from Wonder Man, and we're on to the last episode now, where Simon follows a man named Chuck Eastman. He tells Chuck that he is doing research for a role. He cannot tell him anything about it. He cannot say who the director is or anything. He says, these studios, they want to keep everything private, which I felt was a very funny thing to say about in a Marvel Studios project. I hope you're listening, Marvel Studios. I know that was about you. So he follows this man, Chuck Eastman, all over his life. He stays in his house. He follows him to work. He just shadows him so he can learn more about this role. Turns out Chuck's job is security at the facility that Trevor is being held at. What a coincidence. Who would have thought? What are the odds? So Simon, being the ride or die he is, gets to come with him to work. And they tell Chuck's job, this is a new hire, he's training, I'm training him. And he excuses himself to the bathroom after a little bit, and he finds Trevor, and then they get out of there. And don't think that like he kind of left Chuck in a horrible position, because Chuck's wife called and said there's been a huge anonymous deposit in our accounts, enough to where you can just quit that horrible job you hate so much. So everyone's pretty much set up, except everyone will be after Simon and Trevor. And that's where we're at. That was the show. It was a very fun watch. There was a great build up. There was a lot of character development. There were times where I did not like Simon. I thought he was such a dick. But then there were other times I'm like, well, okay, you're not so bad. But I loved the show, and I cannot wait to see where we see Wonder Man next, because I gotta tell you, the actor killed it, knocked it out of the park. These are one of those hires that you just talk about, like Florence Pugh as Yelena, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Charlie Cox as Daredevil, and then you have Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Wonder Man, and it was so good. I'm just a little bummed. There's two things I'm a little bummed about. One, it was Doorman's background. I was hoping for a Great Lakes Avenger reference or something, but they took away the fact that he was a mutant altogether, which is fine. But we also did not get confirmation that Simon is a mutant. We didn't get confirmation, but I think he's a mutant. They never said, oh, he got bit by a radioactive spider. He fell in radioactive goo when he was saving someone from getting hit by a car. You know, it was nothing like that. It was just when he was 13, there was a fire, and that's all he remembers from. I mean, he doesn't know why it happened. He doesn't want it. All of this leads into he's a mutant. And I really, really dig that, because if we have Wonder Man as a mutant in the MCU, and he has been on so many X teams in the comics, like West Coast Avengers, X-Men, all that stuff. With that, he could go anywhere. He could be anything. And he's not going to be an actor now. There's no way. And just like the comics, his time as an actor was short-lived, which I'm cool with. That's great. But it worked really, really well for the show. It was well worth the wait. I loved it. I'm really happy about it. I'm really bummed it's over. I want to see so much more of it. And I'm really, really happy with how many people I saw genuinely loving it. Also, Marvel, can we talk? Because if you're going to drop all episodes of the show, can it not be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? On a Tuesday? Who are you trying to hurt? I got things to do tomorrow. Too many things. That's why I'm doing this review right now. Whatever. That's my problem. Whatever. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very well done. And we did get some really great comic accurate looks. We got Doorman and his comic accurate, it wasn't a hat. What was it? Mask. It was a mask. Like I said, it's like, now it's 1:43 in the morning. I'm really tired. And we also got to see Simon in the Wonder Man movie in a comic accurate suit and the original, and like the glasses, which were the original glasses from the original Wonder Man movie. He saw with his father, which was very, very sweet. And when they watched the movie, his mother was so, so proud of him. And it ended on a very good note. And then it ended setting up for something else, because now we know we're going to see Trevor again at some point. We're definitely going to see Wonder Man. I just wish there was more hype for the show. I feel like it just came out. It's already very underrated. The show did phenomenally. I have not seen anyone hate it. I have seen people complain, but I haven't seen one hate it, which I feel is a very good thing. And I don't know, it felt like Marvel didn't have much hope in it, because today they released the Daredevil Born Again Season 2 trailer, which I have a reaction video on my channel if you're interested. You gotta plug yourself whenever you can, you know. But I wish they would have posted that any other day. I would have really liked both of those different projects to get their own time to shine, but I'm just saying as if they would ever drop a new series trailer on the day that Daredevil Born Again came out. I don't see it, but whatever. I'll mind my business. So yeah, that is my review. I really liked it. Let me know if you guys did. Let me know in the comments. Also, I just don't have anything else to say. I'm really tired. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with me to the end if you did. If you did not, you'll never hear this anyway, so I guess suck a fat one. I don't know. I'm really tired. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Good show. If you haven't watched it, you should check it out because it's great. It's a very grounded show. Actors did phenomenally. The only negatives I can say were the doorman backstory, and you know what, never mind. It's just the doorman backstory for me. That's it. Everything else is great. So if you want to know more about Simon Williams, I am going to plug myself again. Look on my channel because I also have a breakdown of who he is in the comics, and he has a very, very vast history. He does a lot, he sees a lot, he fights a lot, and it's all great. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let me know where you think we're going to see Wonder Man in the MCU again. Personally, I think it'll be Vision Quest, because if you want to know about how Vision and Wonder Man are connected, just check out my channel. I've been talking for too long. I'm so sorry. So have a marvelous night.